All right. So here's what you do when the prospect doesn't answer the phone, especially if it's a warm lead. Immediately, you want to leave a voicemail. Okay. And you want to let them know, you want to be very clear and concise as to who you are, why you're calling, and times that you'll be available for them to give you a call back. You don't want to just say, call me back at any time. As a matter of fact, when I make a phone call and I leave a voicemail, I do the opposite. Say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I just given you a call on the property 123 Main Street. I was interested in putting in an offer on that. I just had a couple of questions about the property. If you could give me a call back, I'm not going to be available probably starting in about 45 minutes or so. So I'll tell you what, give me a call right around 3:30, 4 o'clock if that works for you. If not, I'll circle back and try and reach out to you whenever I'm available tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day and I'll talk to you soon. Something like that. They subconsciously need to know that you're busy. If you're always available, well then what good are you? Like you can't be very good at what you do if you're not very busy. You also want to send a text message or an email, whichever. If you have their email address, send both. Now, you definitely want to send a text message over an email if it's not a landline that you're calling. And the reason being is that unless you have the type of job where your email is just always open and in your face, unless you're expecting an email, you're not really in your email that much. But everybody looks at their text messages. So the only downside to that is if you happen to be calling a landline, but you definitely want to do that. You want to do a second follow up call within 24 hours. And what I typically do is, let's say I give them a call on Monday in the morning, they didn't answer. I leave the voicemail, I send a text message, I send an email. Then on Tuesday, I'm going to call them in the afternoon because I already know the morning doesn't work. So I'm either going to call them in the afternoon or I'm going to wait till the evening. I'm going to call them in the afternoon. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to call them in the evening. So then I've hit them in every part of the day where I could get a hold of them. Some people, they may go to work early in the morning. They may have the type of job where they can't have their phone on them. They didn't even get your message by the time they got home, and then it was too late. But if you give them a call in the evening, then, oh, yeah, that's right, I'm available. Yeah, I can talk. You want to send another follow up and you want to send another follow up text message, another follow up email. Basically, just reiterating who you are, that you're interested in putting in an offer. You want to use these buzzwords. I want to put in an offer. I don't want to talk to you about your property. No. I'm interested in putting in an offer on your property. And then on the third, as I said, you want to make your final push. And this is an aggressive way of doing this. But chances are, if it's a warm lead, you're paying for it. If you're paying for it, you want to make sure that you are on top of it and it doesn't go anywhere. The absolute worst thing that you can hear is that you called someone on Monday, you called them on Tuesday. Yeah, you didn't call them on Wednesday. I don't want to call them 3 days in a row. That seems like it's pushing them. You call them on a Thursday or Friday, they signed a contract with someone else. It's devastating when that happens. So this is an aggressive way of doing it, but this is for warm leads. If it's a warm lead, you're paying for it. You want to make sure that you're on top of it. So you want to do another phone call, and again, this will be off of whatever times you called them the previous days. And then obviously the same thing with the text message and the follow up. Now, if you call someone over and over and over and over again, make sure that you're tracking it. You want to know what's going on with that lead. Okay, so you want to document when you called them, what time you called them. Did you leave a voicemail? Did you send a text message? Did you send an email? Was there any kind of response? Is there any indication that you've been blocked? If you start calling someone and it rings a bunch of times or rings once or twice, goes to voicemail, rings two or three times, goes to voicemail, but then as soon as you call, it just instantly goes to voicemail, no matter if you call in the afternoon, the morning, or the evening, you were probably blocked. And a good way to check that is to use a Google Voice number and, call again and see if it rings. And then you want to, assuming that no, they're not answering the phone, they're not responding to anything, attempt after attempt after attempt after attempt, then you want to put them in a 1 month follow up. You want to wait 30 days. After 30 days, you start the cycle all over again. Calling once in the morning, next day in the afternoon, next day in the evening, text and email after each one, and you just keep going. Because again, if you're paying for these leads, you want to stay on top of it. And there will be a separate video on exactly what the voicemail should sound like, exactly what the text messages should look like, and exactly what the email should look like. So we'll put those videos out and we'll have templates for you as well.